name is Luann Pikett. You are in my kitchen, and this morning I am making banana bread. Now, this is the best banana bread recipe I have ever tried. So I'm going to show this to you, and the secret to this one, I'll tell you the secret to it when it comes. If you've made this before, you already know. But I am going to put in a stick of butter. This is softened, unsalted butter. I'm going to put in there, and then I'm going to cream the butter real quick. This should not take long at all to do this today. Cream the butter and the sugar, so it takes 2 cups of sugar. Let me get that. Two cups of sugar. Get a little thing to measure here. Hold on. Level it off with a knife. Okay, here we are. There's our 2 cups of sugar. So let's blend those together. So there's that, and then we are going to add 2 eggs. So here we'll go over here. There's where I'm going to do my egg. Right in this little bowl. There's 1 egg. I'll blend that one in. While that's mixing, we'll do the other egg. These are large eggs, if that matters. I usually use large eggs. And we'll pour the other one in. I think most recipes assume you're using large eggs. Okay, there is that all mixed together. Then we are going to add in the flour, salt, and soda. So we're going to have 2 cups of flour. So let's stir that a little bit, get that lightened. And I'm cooking some sweet potatoes on the stove over here. I'm going to have sweet potatoes later too. It's going to be so good. Sweet potatoes are so good for you. Of course, if you add sugar, they might not be as good for you, but they sure do taste good. Okay, so let me get 2 cups of flour in here. It'll level that off also. Okay, we're going to add 2 cups of flour. Now, it tells you to mix it before you put it in, like mix the dry ingredients together, but I think you can just do it in the mixer. I always do it this way. Okay, then we're going to add a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of baking soda. Move that out of the way. Okay, teaspoon. And yeah, that's a lot of salt. Okay, so there's my sweet potatoes. Hold on, let me get those. Turn that off. So it's nice and done. Drain off the water. Okay, I'll just let those sit there a minute. Right, teaspoon of salt. Strain that in there. And then we will have a teaspoon of baking soda. so then, now if you want to kind of mix those, since it's in a pile in there, just take a little whisk and mix it around a little bit. If you really want to mix it. There you go. And then blend that together. Okay, so then it's kind of a thick dough. So then what you're going to add in here are bananas. So you need a cup of mashed bananas. So I'm going to go over here. Now you always want really ripe bananas. Even if, I've heard if you put them in the freezer and like overripe, you want overripe bananas for banana bread. Put them in the freezer, they actually can get sweeter, but I didn't put them in the freezer this time. So let's get my cup measure. And I usually just take them on a little board like this. And they, you know, when they're really, really ripe, they're really, really soft. Now, normally I don't like to eat bananas like this, but they make better banana bread. That's why people who have overripe bananas just save it to make banana bread. And if you don't want to make banana bread right that minute, put them in the freezer and just thaw them later to make the banana bread. So I just take it with a fork and mash it. Put it in our measuring cup. I don't even know how many bananas I'm going to need, but let's hope it's not more than 3. That's what I have. It's going to be what I have, that's for sure. I'm sure that will be good. Okay, so there's that. Let's do another one. I think these are just perfect for banana bread. Real soft. Really, 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 really ripe. But they're not like all bruised or anything, so that's perfect. Like I say, they're so soft you just smash them with a fork. Real quick. Put that in there. We're really close to the top here. I might go ahead and do this other banana. This one's a smaller one. Only because I have like nothing else to do with it. Let's see if we can't go ahead and fit it in this cup. Then, after we add this, we get the ingredient that's going to make this the best banana bread you've had. It will be so nice and moist. Okay, I don't want to waste the banana, so I'm going to put it in there. Let's put that in. It's a little bit more than a cup, but it's good. Alright, so let's mix that in to our batter and get this goo off my hands. Okay, so we've got that all nice and mixed in there. So let me get my spatula. I've got a couple of spots here that aren't wanting to mix because they're sticking to the beater. So scrape that off. Mix that in. There's still some here. Okay, so then we are going to get 1 cup of our ingredient that makes this the best banana bread ever. And that is a cup of sour cream. Doesn't have milk in it. It has sour cream. Trust me, this is so good. This is just regular sour cream. Let's put that in there. Oh yeah. This is really the recipe that taught me if you want something to be really moist and really extra good, you either want sour cream in it, or if it's a cake, oil. And it will not be dry. Okay, here we go. Let's go back over here. And we'll put a cup of sour cream in there. I got this recipe from a lady that was my Sunday school teacher when I was a teenager. And then I gave it to my cousin. And then I lost the recipe. And then it was just on a 3x5 card. I couldn't find it. Then I found it again. And then I moved or something at some point. And I lost it again. And I was with my cousin one day, years later, and she was talking about the banana bread recipe, and I'm like, do you still have it? She's like, oh yeah, I still have it. I'm like, can you give it back to me? Because I have lost it twice now, and I can't find it again. So she gave it back to me again. So I was so thankful I had given it to her. And now I have it in my book, so I won't lose it again. Not just on a 3x5 card that I think I just had in a drawer. Okay, so you want the oven on 350, and then we're going to mix this real well. There is your fantastic banana bread. Okay, there you go. Now, you're going to put this in a 9x13 pan, except I'm going to put it in 2 pans, because I'm going to leave half of it here, and rather than drag half of it to my parents and then drag half of it back home, I'm just putting it in 2 pans. Now let's see, does it say, yeah, you want 2 greased pans. Okay, so let me move this out of the way. So I am going to just use 2 8x8 pans. It's just like the same as 9x13, it's just in two parts. And then you're going to bake it at 350 for 45 minutes. Now I am going to use, because I want these even, let's just put that down. I'm going to use that scoop, but I got to get this out of here first. My batter. Clean off my beater. Get all that stuff off of there. We don't waste nothing. Every drop. And that is just a way to get them more even. You don't have to be that exact if you're putting it in 2 pans, but I like to be exact. They bake more evenly if they're exactly the same size, if you're doing 2. This will actually be the first time I've ever put it in 2 pans. And I'm assuming it will still take the whole 45 minutes. Maybe I should check it and see. In 35 or something. Alright, come on. There we go. I get it off my hands. Okay, so let's take my batter. I'm going to use that in a minute. There. Just got to get it out of the way. And I'm just going to... Oh, you know what? I didn't grease it, did I? Ah! Alright, hold on. Ah! Okay, I have no place to put this. There we go. Here, we'll grease the outside. That one. And we'll grease that one. There we go. It will be fine. Alright. So then I just like put one in each one here. Nice thick batter. If you want some good moist banana bread, this is it. Right here. Banana bread is one of my favorite things. And that's why I don't make it. I just eat it. I don't want to just eat it. But for Sunday, it's a nice treat. Since I leave most of it with Mom and Dad, then that's going to work. Or at least half of it. Of course, I can always take this into work or something if I don't want to eat it. Or the key to it is portioning out the amount that's keeps you within your calorie count. That's really what you gotta do. Okay, there we go. Now let's get my scraper here. Scrape out the pan. One day, I'm going to be able to wake up in the morning and not have this congestion. It's been about a month. You think you're tired of it. Ooh, you can't imagine how tired of it I am. One day, it's going to be gone. It's just my body has the hardest time shaking this. Okay. I'm not even sick. I'm just congested. But it's going. It's on the way out. Slow. Okay, put that in there. Then we'll spread this around, spread it around even. That one is just a little touch higher than this one, I think. There we go. Spread, spread, spread. Bread, bread, bread. All right, and we'll put them both in the oven. I am going to set it for 35 minutes and check it. It's ready to go, so we'll put them in to the oven. 350. Let's say if you're doing a 9 to 13 pan, it's 45 minutes. Now, before I go, let me go ahead and do my sweet potatoes. Show you what I do with those. Okay, so I have taken the sweet potatoes and I peel them and cut them up. Yep, when they're hard. It's not easy to do, but I do it. And then I boil them in water like regular potatoes. So I cut them bite size. Oh, it takes about 20 minutes of boiling them. So they're basically cooked. So here are my cooked sweet potatoes, and I'm going to put them in this pan, and I'm going to make candied sweet potatoes. They're really, other than the cutting and peeling, which is hard, they're so easy. Now, if you would rather, you can bake your sweet potatoes and then peel them after, but they're usually hotter than fire. So I like to do it this way. It's just the way I do it. All right, let me put this recipe up. Let me find my recipe for that real quick. Okay, let's see. Although it doesn't have to be that exact, really. Probably do it without a recipe. That is 6 sweet potatoes, by the way. Now that would call, I don't put as much butter in it as it says, because then this just cuts down the calories. That would call for a stick and a half of butter. And let me see, where's my regular butter? I'm probably going to put half a stick of butter. You just don't need that much butter. I mean, it's good, but it's just as good with half a stick. So let's do half a stick. And I usually take it, this is salted butter, and like cut it into pieces and lay them around. Okay, don't want that paper. There we go. And it'll kind of melt, so just let it sit there and melt. Then you're going to do some brown sugar. I usually use light brown sugar, but it doesn't matter. Stay in there now. Don't try to fight me. Okay, let me get my brown sugar. I didn't get this stuff out. Let's see, where are you, brown sugar? Oh, there you are right there. All right. Now it tells you this would be like 3 cups of brown sugar. I'm probably not going to put that much in there. Probably going to do like half of that. So if we do like a cup and a half of brown sugar over 6 sweet potatoes, won't be quite as sweet, but it'll be a little better for you. And this, you know, you can pack it if you want, but you don't have to. This, like I say, this does not have to be that exact for this. So like, there's, woo, hello. There's like, all right, that's 3/4 of a cup. See, it's a lot. I mean, it's a lot. That's a lot right there. You really do need more than what you think, though, if you're just looking at it. If you want it to really taste like candied sweet potatoes. So that right there is a cup and a half over 6 cut up sweet potatoes. And then, now you can just put it in the oven straight like this. The recipe calls for some water, but I don't like to put as much water in it as it says, because then it's so watery. I don't really want it that watery, so I'll tell you what I do with the water. All right, the recipe would tell me, and that's with twice that much sugar, though. It would say 2 cups of water. Oh, no, no, no. Not unless you're going to bake this forever. It just takes forever to thicken up. So all I do is I take a little cup and get some water, and I dribble it over this sugar until the sugar dissolves. Because, actually, no, it's not wanting to dribble very well out of this cup. I do this because if you don't dissolve the sugar stays real dry and gets real dry and hard like a rock. And you'll be eating what tastes like little rocks. Now, if you want that, then you can do it. But no, I'm not that fond of it. So I like the sugar. Let me try something smaller here. I like the sugar to be dissolved. I have learned one thing. This is not these measuring things aren't good to pour. At all. There we go. That's better. Usually it pours better than this. I think I just needed less in it so I could tip it better. Okay. So this was probably like a half a cup of water or a third a cup of water. Let's see how I'm just going over all the sugar until the sugar kind of melts down. So a little tiny bit more in there. So I just put as little water as possible. Then I'm going to put this in the oven. And let me go see my recipe. You want to leave it uncovered because you want this to caramelize and you want it to thicken up and make a thicker sauce. Just little bits I see over here. I think that's it. There you go. So all of the sugar is now wet. So you're going to cook it at 375. It says until a syrup is formed. It takes about 45 minutes. But I have the banana bread in the oven right now, and this has to go up higher, so I'm not going to put it in the oven. But say 375 for about 45 minutes. And then it'll be, see, since I didn't add so much water, the syrup forms a lot faster. And then I'm going to make some squash, which I've made before. And I've got like one of those pieces of ham that you can buy, like a slice of ham. Or maybe it's called a ham steak. And that's what I'm going to make. So we're going to have ham, sweet potatoes, cut up yellow squash, and banana bread for dessert. That's my lunch. So I'm going to go now. I'm going to go do my makeup, actually. And so you can join me there if you like. And I will see you later. Bye.